Hi folks, today we are going to be working with our clay projects. Now our clay projects today are going to be those fantasy creatures that we created. You will need this worksheet out. We did this worksheet last time where we drew a picture of the face, we drew like a side view, and we drew all the different parts that we might need when we're building. And today, since we're building, this is a great resource to have because you can look at it and say, okay, I need this part, and they can kind of go together. The first thing that's going to happen is you're going to get some clay, and then we're going to work together. We're going to build our clay pot, our clay pinch pot, and then we'll start adding the extra stuff onto there. This is going to be at least a 2 to 3 day project. When we are done working today, I will take your project, I will put it onto a special tray so that I can remember whose tray is whose, and I can get you back your project. Next class, we'll continue working on it. So we won't get through this today. If yours is a little bit, it doesn't have as much detail, then the next couple classes we'll go in, we'll make sure that we have that detail going. So examples of some of these projects that we're going to be working on today. You know, here's a good example. This is one that was kind of made to be a toothbrush holder. So it's got some arms that come out. You can see the toothbrush holds it, and then it can sit on the side of a sink once it's glazed. This one was going to go into an aquarium. So that's why it's glazed and it's ready to go. It looked something like this pretty much after the first day. So the mouth was made, some of the fins were made, and then on the second day, other things were added onto it. And by the third day, all the little details and texture and designs that might have been on the project were also added. Here's another example, kind of like a sleeping dog. It's good for holding down papers. And then this one too, kind of a cat, where you can either use it for a toothbrush holder, or if you have it on your desk, you know, it's great for a pencil holder, or, you know, maybe even some candy too. So let me go ahead and move my camera, and we'll go ahead and we'll get started with this today. Hi folks, so this is the second part of this lesson. Once we start having a lot of our details onto our project, then what we're after is something called texture. Texture is a design. It is how something feels. It is an art element that we've already gone over. So with texture, you know, there are many different textures that we can kind of come up with, especially with our clay tools, because clay tools give us a great texture. If I'm after something like dog fur, I can press this into there, and if I just kind of go around in a C, I get a great fur texture. If I'm after something like scales, like whether it's snake scales or fish scales or dragon scales, if I take the marker cap and go over the top, I can have a whole bunch of scales on my project. If I'm after a little bit more of a random pattern, I can take my bottle caps and I can run those in there, and then that will give me a different type of pattern too. So all of these tools in here make a different type, make a different pattern. You know, if I press these in and I kind of go back and forth, it kind of gives me a pointed type shape. If I take my little round dowel here, it's going to give me rounded spots. You know, if I take and I want to draw in there, in the bottom of the box, there's these little rubber tipped paintbrushes. You can actually draw anything you want in there. So if there was something you wanted to do, like spirals on your project, or if you had a design on your project that you wanted to do, you can use this to just draw it right onto your project. So the texture of your project is very important, because what happens is the clay, once it's dry and fired and we put the glaze on there, it's going to go inside all of these textures and really make them stand out nicely, especially if you do more than one color. So one color normally falls into the texture, and then the other one stays on the top, and you're going to be left with a really nice design. So spend the time, add the texture to your project so that it stands out.